Hey everyone, welcome back. This is your stimulus update for Wednesday, July 8th. We have some good stimulus news to report to you today and some possibly bad stimulus news as well. Most of it is revolving around Mitch McConnell's $40,000 number that he threw out when it came to the next stimulus payment. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about that and what is going on with that number and what that means for the next stimulus payment. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So by this point, you've seen this all around the news. Mitch McConnell had a press conference and he said, yes, we are considering more stimulus payments, more direct payments to the American people. But what he did, which was a little different than normal, is he threw out the number, the earnings number. Basically, he said you need to earn under $40,000 in order to get the next stimulus payment. Now, of course, this is not the law yet. This is not written into their bill, but there are many sources that are saying that that number is not a haphazard number. In fact, this is from Jeff Stein of the Washington Post. And now these guys, whether or not you like the Washington Post, they do have individuals who are sources for them inside the Hill who tell them what's going on. And he said multiple sources say that McConnell did not just throw out the $40,000 cutoff haphazardly. So what's going on with that $40,000 number? And just so you know, what they're saying is they're going to give out stimulus payments. They're going to provide more, but the last ones you had to make under $75,000 filing single. This next round, you're going to have to make under $40,000. Why is he throwing this number out? I think he's throwing this number out to get people ready. Usually when you're starting to plan out your next bill, you don't just want to throw people into a cold pool. You want to sort of warm them up to the idea first. And what this looks like to me is an idea that's been tossed around like, hey, we need to get more direct payments to people, but how do we lower the amount of money that we're going to spend? How do we target this more to the people who need the help the most? And what they came up with was a lower income number to provide direct payments to, and Mitch McConnell threw that number out just so people could get warmed up to it. So it wouldn't seem like this crazy thing once they make the bill. So I do believe that this is a real number. However, this is a good thing though, because it does mean that they're going to provide more direct payments. Now we have Donald Trump saying they're going to provide more direct payments. We have Stephen Mnuchin, who's been saying, yes, we need probably to look at more stimulus payments. Even Larry Kudlow's been saying that. Jerome Powell's been saying that. We've had other Congress people saying that. And now we even have Mitch McConnell saying that. So that is a good thing. On the bad side of it, though, it does mean that a number of individuals are going to be left out this time if you earn higher than $40,000. But keep this in mind, that $40,000 number is probably for single filers, meaning if you are married filing jointly, it's probably going to be more like $75,000 to $80,000. So keep that in mind. If you're filing head of household, it's probably going to be around $55,000 to $60,000. In addition, they're probably going to phase it out as well. So even if you earn more than $40,000 filing single, you're probably still going to get money. They'll probably phase it out to a certain number, and they're going to phase out the married filing jointly as well. So yes, a number of individuals are going to miss out, but the majority of people who are probably listening to this program are still going to be in this next direct payment. The other issue becomes, what about Social Security? What about SSI? What about veterans and survivors and RRB? This one, we don't have a lot of information on, and it can go one of two ways. And I'm going to tell you those two ways. One of them is bad, and one of them is good. So which one should I start with? Always start with the good. So here's the deal. Mitch McConnell and Republican leadership might look at Social Security, SSI, veterans, disability, survivors, and say that is a targeted group that needs additional help. They need additional funding. They're on the lower end of the income ratings when it comes to the American citizens. They need targeted help, and we're going to include them in the next stimulus payment, because this whole thing is about targeting money to the people who need it the most. And they might use that logic to provide more funding to those individuals. That's the good news. The bad news is they could use a different set of logic to not provide funding to those individuals. They could use this logic. They could say those individuals, although they could use help and they're on the lower income side of things in America, they really haven't been affected monetarily by this as far as their income is concerned. Their Social Security benefits have stayed the same. Their disability benefits have stayed the same. They haven't experienced a loss of a job or a loss of income. And because of that, we're trying to target this money to people who have experienced a disastrous loss of income, meaning they had a job and now they don't. They were making a certain amount of money and now that money's been cut in half. And Social Security, disability, veterans, and RRB and survivors have not experienced that. Therefore, we're not going to target the money towards them. We're only going to target it towards the group that likely saw a loss of income. I'm not saying they're using that logic, but they could use one of these two, all right? I don't know which one they're going to do. But in my opinion, it is becoming more and more likely that they are going to include another stimulus payment in the next stimulus package, like we've been saying all along. Matter of fact, let me update the chart right now. Take a look at the chart. We've had this number at 65%. I'm going to raise it up now to 80%. There is an 80% chance that we are going to get another stimulus payment, but we've been using this targeted number here, and it's going to be more targeted to individuals who they deem need it the most. And it looks like to me it's going to be those earning under $40,000, filing single, earning under $75,000 or $80,000, filing joint married. They may, however, though, include Social Security, SSI, veterans, and survivors and RRB because they will see them as a targeted group that needs help. They need additional money, or they may not include them because they will see them as a group that hasn't seen any massive change in their income. Although their income is generally low, there's been no change. None of this is definite yet, but we are getting closer and closer to the real answer. And I enjoy the fact that we can continue to keep you guys the most up-to-date possible so you know what's going on. So for the majority of you listening, the news is overwhelmingly positive. Even if you're Social Security, I think, in my opinion, they're going to lend towards providing more money to Social Security. They also have to remember that this is an election year. And although they may save $50 billion or $100 billion, is it really worth it to save that little bit of money? You know, when you got to get a job done and you got to get a job done right, you can penny pinch if you want and save little things here and there and get the job technically done. But is it worth it to penny pinch right now when people need help? Is it worth it during an election year? I think they're going to think about that. And it might reverse some of the decisions some of them might be thinking about to not include certain individuals. So we need to keep that in mind as well. If you want to continue to be updated on this and get the latest information and my thoughts on what's going on, consider subscribing to the channel. I would enjoy to have you guys come along with me. We will continue to keep you updated as more and more information gets revealed. And by the way, remember, the Senate is going to be off of their recess on the 20th of July, and that's when the fireworks are going to go down. I think they're going to pass this thing before the next recess. There's a lot of pressure to do it. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and in the content we provided, we will catch you next time.